The new Thomas the Tank Engine has ruined my childhood. We all thought Club Penguin Island was a bad reboot. But Thomas has officially been ruined. Just like this little kid here, when I was a child, Thomas was my best and only friend. I had all kinds of Thomas-related merchandise. And I loved Thomas. He was like my Amine waifu, but he wasn't Amine. He was just Thomas. But sadly, I can't love Thomas anymore. I'm divorcing Thomas after 17 years. I just can't go on. I was able to deal with the bad CGI version of Thomas. Sure, it looked like a botched plastic surgery, but I still made do for Thomas. I just can't take the new changes to Thomas from 2018. And do you know why? Because it just won't be the same. They've put too many new changes for stupid reasons.
Like, seriously, the only reason that they made all of these changes is because the United Nations has developmental goals about inequalities. Now, I know you're sitting there probably asking yourself, oh, well, what could these changes possibly be to a children's show that can make you want to divorce Thomas, your Amine waifu? Well, here's the headline. I bet you feel pretty dumb for doubting me, don't you? I'm gonna be honest with you, the only good part of this entire headline is the phrase Thomas the Tank Engine. What exactly do they mean by gender balancing Thomas the Tank Engine? No, these folks just aren't taking new trains and placing them into Thomas the Tank Engine. They are taking away old trains in order to replace them and make it all 100% equal. And the upsetting thing isn't even that they're removing two trains they added on later in the series. What they're doing, they're taking away Henry the train, and they're taking away Edward the train. So that means Henry, he's wasted. And Edward, he's wasted too. I want to see these trains go down in a blaze of glory, saving someone from something crazy. I want to see them die falling off a bridge like that one scene in The Incredibles, but where it completely ends and they both fall off because they fell to their deaths trying to save someone that they love or something else like that. They could have removed those two annoying diesel engines from the television show, but no, they had to remove two of the oldest characters from the show. Now, what are they just replacing two of the oldest trains in the Thomas lore with? What they're replacing one of them with is a train called Nia, an African female train. I'm certain that this sounds just as ridiculous to you as it does to me, because having a female African train that actually does work doesn't make any actual sense. You see, my immense research on rocket science and my PhD on women's rights and gender studies can tell me that women's rights aren't exactly where this would actually be occurring in South Africa or wherever in Africa. These episodes with the African train and them going on safari are going to take place changes just for the sake of it. If it was a woman train in Africa that was anthropomorphic and could talk, odds are they would spend their time trying to figure out how to make it cook and clean like the rest of the women in their societies. This screenshot from ourafrica.org proves my point that women do the woman work in Africa. Therefore, these trains wouldn't be going out and getting jobs. They'd be hooked up somewhere and used as a washing machine or something. And the name of the other train is Rebecca, so it's pretty safe to assume that she's a white train. And that proves my point that the only reason that they have the black African woman train is for good boy points from the UN. And honestly, other than going on a safari in Africa, what is there for a train to do? What is he gonna do? Is he gonna just get robbed by some Somali pirates or whatever? Because there isn't really much to do in Africa besides starve to death and go hunting for a lion when you're a dentist. And at the end of the article, they say, and probably what bothers me more than replacing two of the oldest engines with diversity characters, they say, we are not making these changes just for the sake of it. Like, it's obvious that that's what they're doing. They're just adding minority characters just so they can seem diverse and for the sake of it. So they're just lying through their teeth right there. And at the very end, do you know what they say? They say, we know that a lot of girls love the show. The audience on Milkshake is 50-50, he added. If that was truly the case, then why did it have to be changed? There's no reason to change something if the audience is already 50-50 just to make it more equal. Because it was doing just fine the way it was, obviously. But hey, it's just Thomas, and I've divorced my old Amine waifu Thomas, and it's time to move on to a new Amine waifu. But seriously though, Sayori is best waifu.